It feels like the pieces of who you are quietly fading, slipping through your fingers, no matter how tightly you try to hold on. That hollow ache creeps in, the kind that twists your chest and leaves you staring into the dark, wondering, when did everything start falling apart? How do I find myself again? And what if I never do? Ever felt like everything you once knew was just slipping away? It's such a disorienting feeling, right? That heart-wrenching ache can leave you feeling lost and all alone. You start questioning everything. Why is this happening? What do I do now? What if this pain never goes away? In those moments of big change, like a breakup, losing a job, or saying goodbye to someone special, we face a tough truth. Nothing lasts forever. It's all part of life, and while it can hurt like crazy, it's also a reminder that change is just around the corner. Hang in there. This isn't a new revelation. For over 2.5 millennia, Buddhist teachings have offered a profound and deeply compassionate guide for navigating this very human experience. The core insight isn't about preventing change, for that is as futile as trying to command the ocean's tides. Instead, it is about learning to ride the waves, to find a sense of inner peace and unshakable stability even when the world outside feels like a raging storm. This isn't about suppression or denial. It's about transformation. It's about looking directly at the nature of change, not as an enemy to be fought, but as a teacher to be understood. The path to peace doesn't lie in building higher walls to keep change out, but in opening our hearts to its rhythm, allowing it to flow through us without letting it sweep us away. Imagine holding a handful of sand. If you clench your fist tightly, desperately trying to keep every single grain, the sand will inevitably trickle through your fingers, leaving you with less than you started with. But if you hold your hand open, gently cupping the sand, you can hold it for much longer. You can observe its texture, its color, its warmth. This is the essence of the Buddhist approach to change. Our suffering arises not from the change itself, but from our desperate, white-knuckled clinging to things as they were. We attach ourselves to a specific outcome, a particular person, a certain feeling, or a static version of ourselves. We build our house of happiness on the illusion of permanence, so when the winds of change inevitably blow, our house, built on such a fragile foundation, comes crashing down. The first noble truth of Buddhism states that life involves suffering, or dukkha. This isn't a pessimistic declaration, but a realistic diagnosis. It acknowledges the universal experience of dissatisfaction, stress, and unease that arises from this very friction between our desire for permanence and the reality of impermanence. We want our youth to last forever, our relationships to never falter, our health to never decline. Yet we live in a world where seasons turn, flowers bloom and wither, and even mountains eventually erode. Resisting this natural law is the source of our deepest anxieties. The moment a relationship ends, we don't just feel the sadness of the loss. We feel the pain of our shattered expectation that it would last forever. The moment we lose a job, we don't just worry about finances. We mourn the loss of an identity we thought was secure. The key to unlocking peace in the midst of this turmoil is mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of paying attention to the present moment, on purpose, without judgment. It's about becoming a gentle, curious observer of our own experience. When a wave of grief or anger or fear washes over you, the typical reaction is to either be completely consumed by it or to push it away with all your might. Mindfulness offers a third way. It invites you to simply notice the feeling. There is sadness. You can observe where you feel it in your body, a tightness in the chest, a knot in the stomach, a heaviness in the limbs. You can watch the thoughts that swirl around it, the what-ifs, the if-onlys, the self-recriminations. By observing your emotions without judgment, You create a space between you and the feeling. You are no longer "I am sad." Instead, you are the consciousness that is aware of sadness passing through. This small shift in perspective is monumental. It's the difference between being caught in a torrential river and standing on the riverbank, watching the water flow by. The water is still there, the current is still strong, but you are not being carried away by it. You can acknowledge its power without drowning in it. This practice teaches you that feelings, like all other phenomena, are impermanent. The intense grief you feel right now will not feel the same way in an hour, a day, or a year. It will shift, change, and evolve. By allowing it to be, without fighting it, you allow it to complete its natural course. This brings us to the profound wisdom of letting go. Letting go is not an act of weakness or resignation. It is an act of immense strength and wisdom. It's not about forgetting the past or pretending it didn't matter. You cannot erase your memories, nor should you want to. They are part of the rich tapestry of your life. Letting go means releasing your attachment to the outcome you wanted. It means releasing the narrative that things should have been different. It's the moment you stop replaying the argument, stop dissecting the breakup, stop blaming yourself or others, and simply accept the reality of what is. Acceptance is the gentle cradle that holds our pain. It doesn't mean you like what happened. It doesn't mean you approve of it. It simply means you stop fighting a battle that is already over. The past is gone, you cannot change it. The future is unknown, you cannot control it. All you have is this present moment, and in this present moment you have a choice. You can continue to expend your precious energy fighting with reality, or you can accept it and begin the process of healing. This is where your power lies. When you accept what is, you free up the emotional and mental resources you were using to resist reality. You can then reinvest that energy into rebuilding, into healing, into discovering what comes next. This is where the concept of Anicca, or impermanence, transforms from a source of fear into a source of hope. If everything is impermanent, it means that your pain is also impermanent. The suffocating grief, the paralyzing anxiety, the bitter anger, these too shall pass. This truth is a beacon of light in the darkest of times. It assures you that this state of being is not your final destination. It is a season, and seasons change. Just as winter gives way to spring, your period of struggle will eventually give way to a new phase of growth and renewal. Holding on to this knowledge can be a lifeline. When you feel overwhelmed, you can whisper to yourself, "This is impermanent. This too will change." This isn't a form of spiritual bypassing. It's a reminder of a fundamental truth that can provide immense comfort. Moreover, embracing impermanence opens you up to the beauty of the present moment. When you truly understand that nothing lasts forever, every experience becomes more precious. The warmth of the sun on your skin, the taste of a morning coffee, a shared laugh with a friend, the quiet beauty of a sunset. These fleeting moments become imbued with a sacred quality. You begin to appreciate them, not for their potential to last, but for their very existence, right here, right now. This is a profound shift from a life of striving and accumulating to a life of appreciating and experiencing. Your happiness is no longer dependent on a future where everything is perfectly in place. Instead, you can find joy in the imperfect, transient, and beautiful moments that make up your life today. So how do we begin this practice? It starts with the breath. Your breath is your anchor to the present moment. It is always with you, a steady, rhythmic reminder of life. When you feel lost in the storm of your thoughts and emotions, bring your attention back to your breath. Feel the sensation of the air entering your nostrils, filling your lungs, and then gently leaving your body. Don't try to change it, just observe it. Each breath is a new beginning, a chance to come back to the here and now. You can do this for just a minute, or for 20. It is a simple yet incredibly powerful tool to calm your nervous system and clear your mind. From there, You can cultivate compassion, both for others and crucially for yourself. When you are navigating change, it is easy to be hard on yourself. You might feel you're not getting over it fast enough, or that you should be stronger. This is the moment to practice metta, or loving kindness. Place a hand on your heart and offer yourself the same kindness you would offer a dear friend. Say to yourself, "May I be patient with myself. May I be gentle with my healing. May I find peace." This self-compassion is not self-indulgence. It is the essential nourishment your soul needs to heal and grow. Ultimately, the Buddhist path teaches us that while we cannot control the winds of change, we can learn to adjust our sails. Peace is not found in a life free of problems, but in the ability to meet those problems with a mind that is stable, a heart that is open, and a spirit that is resilient. The end of one chapter is always the beginning of another. By embracing the truth of impermanence, by practicing mindfulness and compassion, and by gently letting go of our resistance, we can navigate the inevitable changes of life not as victims, but as wise and graceful sailors. We discover a peace that is not dependent on external conditions, a peace that resides within us, constant and true, even when everything changes. Write differently to be more attractive or appealing.